quick and dirty little box. Not really so much of a review, so much as it is a looking at new cards and giving some thoughts about them. Just because obviously everyone's talking about how sick Nightmare Unicorn and Phoenix are, and I also think this box has a lot of support for decks I've already showcased on my channel, as well as a pretty okay free-to-play archetype. So I'll just sort of talk about that. Amblo Whale is sort of like the Troll Ultra, where this card fucking sucks. Firewall Dragon, I don't think you should play this deck in, or this card in Duel Links unless you're using the Storm Access skill, because, like, I mean, it's just not amazing, I don't think. I am tempted to go into the Code Talker pack, and by pack, I mean deck, because I want to try to make a deck that, like, turbos out Firewall Dragon, co-link to Mermaid in the EMZ, pointing to a Nightmare Phoenix. That seems pretty funny, but I don't know how consistent that really is. But that wouldn't use Firewall from the pack. It would just use the Storm Access skill, because Link Spam needs a lot of extra deck spots. Farm Girl and Tin Can Cosmo is bad and not worth the investment. Magical Musketeer Kib Brave, kind of cool, because you don't need more than one for magical muskets, and you maybe can even get away with 0, so I appreciate ultra rares you don't need to pull for. Nightmare Unicorn, everyone's going to want to have one copy of this. This just sort of buffs a lot of decks that just have discard fodder. I'm thinking of stuff like Neos decks, just having extra copies of Neos Fusion in their hand. Now you can convert those into Spell and Trap Destruction and shuffling back into the deck. Very nice there. I'm going to be playing these two cards in a lot of the different Harpy decks I'm building, because Harpy Harpist and not Elegant Egotist, Hysteric Sign both want to be sent from your hand to the graveyard. So both of those are just sort of some incidental synergies there. Also work with Fabled, so I don't think that's going to make Fabled playable at all. It doesn't work with Dark Worlds, of course, because it is cost, not effect. Droll and Lockbird, very funny. This is, of course, why other cards got limited. I just think they shouldn't have brought this card to the game. It's weird, right? Like, it's never good unless the format is horrible. It's not like Effect Veiler or Infinite Impermanence or Ash Blossom, where if the card is good, that's just, like, fine, because monster effects and adding cards from deck to your hand are just common enough to hit. If the main draw of the format is adding a bunch of fucking cards to your hand, the format's probably bad. This does, however, hit Goki, which is very funny, because Goki now actually has something they can do turn 1. World Legacy Succession is huge. This is going to be good for stuff like World Chalice and Mech Knight. Mech Knight's sort of like whatever, but you can now search this off of Morningstar. So, like, if you discard a Mech Knight, you can add this back to revive it. So if, like, you summoned a Blue Sky and you have another one in your hand, you can summon that, overlay him for a rank 5, or more accurately a rank 8 with the Galaxy Eyes package. I don't think necessarily that's too important for Mech Knights, but this is pretty great for World Chalice, but not as cool as another card that World Chalice got, which I'll talk about a little later. Cosmo Dark Lady, I don't care about these cards. Goki the Master Ogre, this is huge. If I get lucky enough to pull Master Ogre quickly from this pack, the first UDS I'm going to make about this new box of support is Goki's, because now with Master Ogre, Goki have a 2-card combo to end on this plus 2 effect negations, or this plus 1 effect negation and a Twist Cobra to buff this card over 4,000 attack on your opponent's turn. It's just your standard combo to end on this, and I'll go over that in that UDS, but very strong. If you have Gokis, you're going to want one of this card. Not need to play more than one of it, because it's really only good going first, and your Great Ogre plus finishing move is more or less going to finish your games off on turn 3 or 2. Bella Madonna, this card sucks because it points upwards. Your opponent can just summon right above it, and it turns off its Towers effect. Nightmare Corruptor Ibli, this is another card that probably just shouldn't be in Duel Links, because the extra deck space is so tight for a lot of decks, and if this is popular, people are going to need to run Link Disciple, their own Nightmare Mermaid, or Link Disciple to get this off the field. We do have multiple Cyberse Link ones to get it off the field, and if you're playing a deck that doesn't have a particularly tight extra deck, I'm thinking of stuff like I don't know, bad decks that don't use the extra deck a lot. Like Fortune Ladies really are only making one card in their extra deck, which is just 3 copies of every. So you can definitely slot a Link one in to get Corruptor Ibly off your field. Same thing if you're playing a rogue deck that has a free extra deck spot, you're going to want to slot in a Cyber's Link one that can be made with an Ibly. Um, Nightmare Phoenix, this card rocks. I really hope we never get quick effect spell and trap destruction on extra deck monsters, barring exactly Grand Pulse in Super Quants, but this is okay. We didn't get Cerberus. Cerberus is like weaker than Phoenix and TCG. This is like the best Nightmare in TCG, followed by Unicorn, and then probably Griffin in terms of the legal ones. The actual best Nightmares are Mermaid and Goblin. Um, so I'm not quite sure why we didn't get Cerberus. Some people were saying it's probably good we didn't, but I mean, so many monsters are destruction immune, or immune to targeting more accurately. Um, Darkhold, this card's crazy. A lot of people were saying it's how generous of Konami to give it to us at super rare. This card's going to 2. That's why they put it out as a super rare. That's the reason why Dark Ruler No More is an ultra and this is a super, because Darkhold is going on the semi-limited list sooner or later. Cross Dom, you're gonna probably want 3 of this. Wait, is that 0? Yeah, no. Did I say 0? This is a infinite impermanence for the archetype. Definitely going to want to play 3 of this. So you're going to need to like go through 1.5 times, or get lucky on your guaranteed SR pulls. Get it twisted. Special summon 2 Trickstar tokens. This is a 1-card Holly Angel. I don't know how good that is, but probably good enough because Trickstar doesn't have a lot of tools. Expendable die, very funny. If you really want to play old school Goki, like I mentioned in my UDS, you just cut the Ballista Squad for expendable die. Is much better than Ballista Squad. Dark Eruptor, I've never seen this card in my life. Target 1 Dark Monster 50 less to add that target to your hand. Not good enough, I don't think. I mean, what are we going to add Ibly back so we can link it off for the second Mermaid? That'd be really funny. Those are all the super rares. Obviously, the most interesting ones are Master Ogre, Mermaid, and by Mermaid, I mean Phoenix, Ibly, Dark Hole, Cross Dom, and not even really Die. I think I'm coping with Die. I think more likely than not, if you're playing any sort of 3 of back row, you're playing Book of Moon because it's flexible going second, or you're playing Compulse or Crackdown. One of those two. But Die is funny, if nothing else. The rares. What's the rare I want to talk about? This one, baby. That's a lie. This one, baby. When your opponent activates a spell, trap card, or monster effect, you control a culling monster, negate the activation. And if you do, destroy that card. This is great because World Chalice lost access to Tretch because it went to 1 with Monster Reborn. We're just playing this, and we're going to draw it off Ningirsu every time going first. Just believe in yourself. You will always draw World Legacy Sorrow. The only difficult thing is because it's not searchable on turn 1 with Chalice, you kind of have to play 3 so you can draw it, but then you open yourself up to bricking. So I'm fucking around with ratios of this, but the World Chalice UDS from last time plus World Legacy Sorrow seems pretty sick. You can also play this in Goki. No, you can, because you can like link off your 2 Gokis for a security dragon, but like that's bad. You're trading your 2 effect negations for 1 counter trap. So I don't think you'd play this in Goki. Although maybe you could. That Nightmare combo is still doable in Goki. You can make you can do Phoenix into Mermaid into Firewall, I'm pretty sure. But I don't really think that's like too impressive. Definitildum, I have no idea what any of these cards do. The only cards I'm going to talk about are, well, one-type passcode's kind of huge, or rather it would be huge if we had Link Spider. Really thinking we're going to get Link Spider as like an EX structure deck boss monster UR, or like a mini box UR. Or we just won't get it because Link Spider is kind of insane, and like with how powerful Rescue Rabbit's been as it's the start of Link format, not like in any meta decks, but just how many fucking rogue decks it makes playable. Maybe Link Spider is something they're afraid of. I don't know. Caspar and Starfire, I believe. Yeah, these are the 2 muskets you want to play at 3, and they're both rare. Like that. This is way cooler of Konami than giving us Dark Hole at 2. Is Caspar and Starfire at rare. These are going to be your 3 ofs. A lot of people I've been seeing have been talking about balanced muskets with 3 and 3. 1 Kid Brave or 1 Wild, I believe is the other one. Yeah, 1 Wild. And then playing duality, cross dom for your spells, and then a 3-2-1 split of magical musket traps. If I can pull the cards that I need, might make a UDS on Magical Musket. I do not care at all about Cosmo, but Musket is interesting to me. I'm definitely going to show off Goki and World Chalice with Legacy Sorrow. Um, Seems pretty good because you're more likely to draw it in a 20 card deck than you are in a 40 card deck. Of course, in the TCG, we have access to Lib to just set this directly from our deck. So it's I want it to be good, but I'm not sure. This is super cool because of its arrows, track black. This will let you co-link with monsters that point diagonally. That's pretty cool. I don't know how important it is, but it is something to mention. And that's really all I wanted to talk about. I'm not really going over all the cards. I'm just talking about what interests me specifically. Uh, this card, I mentioned the Mech Knight lore, so I'll just sort of bring up this card. This is the scene where Ibli turns the Mech Knights into nightmares. They get corrupted and then they fucking try to kill Beckend. Um, I don't really think there's too much to mention in the normals. But yeah, uh, I don't know what this thing does. Yeah, no, this card sucks. Yeah, so you just play like duality. You can maybe play 2 duality in 1 steady hands. I don't think that is too bad, and it will mean you pull for less duality. But yeah, 3 duality, 3 cross dom. It looks like 3 Castbar, 3 Starfire, 1 Kid Brave, 1 Wild, and then like 3-2-1 traps or 3-2-2 traps if you're playing 7 monsters and want to do 7 traps. That's really all my quick and dirty thoughts on this. Bottomless trap hole, whatever. Who else have I not talked about? Dark Lady, whatever. I don't know if we have Wicked Witch. It'd be pretty funny if we did. Yeah. I'm looking forward to Goki a lot. I might even try to cog with that. I get so sick of playing ladder. It fucking sucks. But yeah, I'm excited for Master Ogre. I'm excited for the Nightmares, and I hope that Magical Musketeer is at least a good free-to-play deck for new accounts to get into cog with. Thank you all for watching. Big kisses. Mwah.